Okay. So if you hit somebody and the accident was your fault, you don't really do anything. You don't need to call your insurance company. You don't need to take any kind of action at all. I've hit people, and for some reason, I've never heard back. I insisted that they take down my insurance and my ID. I made them take a picture of that. I'm like, I just feel better if you take this information. And I took their information just from my records. Even though I was at fault, I crossed into their lane. I didn't see them, and I swiped them. For some reason, they never report it. I don't know why, but nothing bad happened to me from that. So if you are at fault, you do nothing. You can file a claim with your insurance company if you have what's called full coverage or collision. Either one of those means that they're covering your car when you're at fault. And so you can make a filing with your insurance company. You have what's called a deductible, meaning my deductible might be $500. And so my insurance company will cover the cost of the repairs of my car up after the first $500. So I'll pay $500 of the repair, and they'll pay whatever the rest of it is. So there's different kinds of things you can file with your insurance depending on how much insurance you have. And then the other people, if you are not at fault, if the other person was at fault and you were the innocent party, as it were, or you had the right of way, what you will do is two things. You can either contact your insurance company and tell them that you need to make a claim, and tell them that you want to make a claim on someone else's insurance. And oftentimes they will go ahead and contact the insurance company for you. That's what I end up doing. Or you can call the other person's insurance. So what this looks like is, say the person that hit you has Progressive. You have their insurance card, you have their name and so forth. You call up Progressive. So you go onto Google and you look up Progressive Insurance and you see the number for calling for claims. And you call and say, hi, I need to make a claim. A person with your policy hit me. And I'm like, okay, well, what's your policy number? And so you give them the policy number and the information of the person who hit you, and they'll type it up in their computer. And they will go from there. First thing they're going to do is confirm the person who hit you had insurance. Because they might have the insurance card, but maybe they didn't pay their insurance recently. Or they don't have the right kind of insurance, but they should. Collision is something you don't have to have, but what's called liability. That's what everyone's supposed to have. And liability is what covers you when you're liable, when you're responsible for hitting somebody else. Sorry, a lot of talking. Okay, so somebody's hit you. You have the police report. Maybe you had to go to the doctors, and so you have your doctor's report because your back really hurt. You probably have whiplash, especially if your airbags went out. Your car may be totaled. You'll want to take lots of pictures of the wreck. If you can take pictures when it happened, that's great. Or take pictures when you get home. It's good to keep the vehicle, if at all possible, if you can keep the vehicle at your house until you contact the person's insurance company, because they may want to send an inspector out to look at the damage. Or they may just look at your pictures and like, yep, it's totaled. Or you might just be able to drive your vehicle to a repair shop and get a quote there. So you've contacted the other person's insurance. You've confirmed that they have insurance. Then the insurance company will take their next steps. And so they'll want documentation of everything. If you had to miss work because you were on your way to work and your car was wrecked, or you can't go to work because your car is wrecked, or you are too hurt to work. Those are all things that the insurance company will pay you for. So here's the money that if you were in an accident and you were not at fault, the other person should pay for. The repairs to your car, or the value of your car if your car is totaled. Any kind of medical bills that you have, if you had to go to the doctors, especially anything that isn't covered by insurance, but even your insurance can get money from them. Any work that you missed due to the accident, whether it's due to the injury or due to lack from transportation, that's all stuff that you can claim and at least ask for. Pain and suffering. If you've gone insurance companies expect to pay out pain and suffering. If you've gone to the doctors and the doctor says, yeah, you have whiplash, here's some pain meds, ice it, and especially if you had to miss some work, you're entitled to some money for pain and suffering. How much depends on the insurance company and the level of damage and so forth. If it's just some whiplash or something, maybe $500 or $1,000, something like that. But if you had to have knee surgery to repair your knee from something, you can get money for that. It could be $100,000 depending on the level of injury that you received. It could be a lot more than that. If you are permanently disabled, my mom was in a car accident, crushed both of her ankles, and she was permanently disabled. She was a preschool teacher. And never could work again. So her settlement was obviously a lot larger, and they covered her lost wages for being disabled. They covered all kinds of stuff. So that's what you can expect. The repairs on your car, the repairs on your body, and pain and suffering for how much it hurt to have your body wrecked. If for some reason that person doesn't have insurance, you have two options. First option, and might be the easiest option, is to go through your insurance, especially if you have what's called uninsured motorist coverage. So you don't have to have this. This is just extra protection for yourself. And it basically will cover all of those things that the other person's insurance should have covered, your insurance will cover for you. So it'll cover the repair of your cars. You may or may not have a deductible on that one. I'm not sure. It'll cover pain and suffering. It'll cover your medical bills, all that kind of stuff. Or you can take the person to smallest claims court. And this is not as hard as it sounds. I was in college, and the apartment complex that my friend lived at towed my vehicle. And I didn't think that towing was fair because there was no signs posted where I could see. There was a sign in a ditch. It was dark. There was absolutely the sign was on the ground in a ditch. Like, there was no way I could see it. I thought I was parking on a public road. So to file a small claims court, just hop on the internet and look up your county courthouse or small claims. So Google like Mason County small claims, and it will pop up the courthouse's website with the area for making a small claims report. And you'll read through what it wants you to do. In Mason County, it's a $50 filing fee, and there's a sheet of paper you fill out. You put in the plaintiff, that's you, put in all of your information. Then you'll put in the defendant. So take the information you took off their insurance card or their driver's license and put all that information in. And then you will put in all the facts that you have. You want to report things as dispassionately as you possibly can. Just give them the straight facts. I was driving at this time of day on this road. This car came out of this alleyway and struck me in the driver's side door. My airbags deployed. My car was undrivable. I had to go to the doctors, and I missed work. And the doctor diagnosed me with severe whiplash. And I missed this many days of work because of this. So you just fill in the paperwork. It gives you like lines. It wants a narrative, where it happened, where, what date. So it wants the date of like the accident. And then you put in the value of your car. And then it wants to know, like, maybe you put in the date of like what day you went to the doctors and how much that cost. And then you'll have a narrative where you kind of explain exactly it was a car accident. You're not like, this person came out of nowhere and swiped me and it was horrific. You don't need to have all those details. You need to just explain what happened. So you fill all that out. You submit to the courthouse. Then you can talk to the courthouse on how it gets delivered. It might be that the police, the sheriff's county, will come and deliver the summons to the person who hit you. It might be that you're responsible for getting somebody to do that. So check the fine print for the county that you're in. And it never hurts when you're dealing with anyone in any kind of role. When you go to drop off that paperwork, smile at the person, say, "Hi, my name is Elizabeth. This is the first time I've ever had to do this." Especially if you're, just turned 18 or something, tell them, "I'm only 18. This is the first time I've had to do anything like this. I know you can't offer me legal advice, but can you tell me if I filled out the form correctly?" So these people, the clerks and stuff, they're not lawyers, and they definitely can't tell you what you should and shouldn't do, even if they know what you should and shouldn't do. But they can give you advice, or they tell you if you filled out the form correctly. So you can make sure that you have everything filled out. And then you file it, and you find out how you got to make sure the people know about it. Things that you can claim in a small claims court: the repairs on your car or the value of your car. To figure out your value of your car, you can go to Kelley Blue Book and look that up. You can go onto, say, Craigslist and look up cars similar to your car and find, 2 or 3 cars in a 50-mile area or whatever, and how much they're going for. I had a Saturn Ion. Insurance company wanted to give me $1,000 for it. And I said, no, I know my car's worth more than that. I just put the new engine in there. And so I pulled up listings for my car in a bunch of, surrounding areas, and they were all going for $3,000. To buy my Saturn Ion again would have cost me $3,000. And so I submitted all that to the insurance company, and the insurance company said, yeah, you're right. So with the small claims court, just attach whatever proof that you have about how much your car was worth, the printout from Kelley Blue Book, or printing out some different, ads for how much your car would cost. And then attach any kind of medical bills that you have. Pain and suffering, you just put that in your narrative that you'd like some pain and suffering. Missed work, you can just put that in there, what you've missed. If you have anything from your boss that shows that you've missed some shifts or whatever, include that. Anything, not just hospital bills, but your report from the hospital where the doctor said, yes, this person has severe whiplash, or this person has 2 discs smushed together or whatnot, probably from the car wreck. All that can go in there so they can show you have proof that, hey, my body was damaged. I'm definitely in pain here. I'd like to be compensated for that. And you submit all that, then you'll have your day in court. You don't need a lawyer. Big accidents, obviously, if you had to go in for surgery or anything like that, those are not small claims courts. Those are, you have a lawyer to deal with it. When my mom was permanently disabled, a lawyer got her money. My mother-in-law, when her knee got messed up and she had to go through surgery, a lawyer got her money. This isn't going to just something that's really small. But if it's somebody who just sideswiped you and your back hurts and you have whiplash and your car's out, then that's just a small claims court. So say your Corolla's worth $2,000 and your insurance covered all of your hospital bills, and you double checked and made sure you don't have any other bills coming in. And you want to put down maybe $1,000 for your whiplash, go for it. The courts can tell you you're asking too much, and they'll give you whatever they feel is right. You can also put in that $50 that it costs you to file this fee. Anything that costs you money to file this court case, you can make that person pay. If you have to pay someone to deliver a subpoena or something, then you need to include that fee too. If you have to pay like $50 to the sheriff's office to deliver the summons to the person who hit you, include that, charge them for it. Then you'll go to court. You'll have all the information printed out with you again. You will submit that all to the judge. The other person will give their side of the story, and they'll explain how they just didn't see you and they're not a bad person. And the judge is like, no one's saying you're a bad person. They might say, oh, your Toyota is not worth this much money. It's only worth this much money, which is why it's important for you to have that proof on why your vehicle is worth so much money. Don't lie about anything. Be very truthful. And the judge will make their decision based on the evidence. It's not scary. It's just what you have to go through when you're driving a car. So that's it. The key things to take away is have your insurance on you. Do not flee the scene of the crime no matter what. Share your information with the other driver and get the other driver's information. Be kind. Don't be overtly emotional. Don't be screaming or yelling. Just everyone's okay, and that's the most important thing. Keep really good documentation, pictures of everything that you have, and follow through, because if you were not at fault in this accident, you are entitled for compensation. I hope that was helpful for you guys. If you have any questions, you can leave it in the comments, but obviously you know how to get a hold of me. And if you have ideas for another topic you'd like me to explain, let me know. All right. Thank you guys. Bye.